Well, compared to the first match that we've already seen today with these compositions, it's slow and steady, just looking for the right opportunity. Hopper is going to be taken out, and that's Muse just rolling right through them onto the ball as well, setting up all of that disruption.
They were so close to dropping skewed early on there, but Carpe, he's taken down both tanks. I don't think they're going to be able to contest this, though, as they his way.
Shockwave, such a skilled player as well. First time we've cast Philly all season, Josh. And oh, I mean, he's just set it up there. Not sure if that was a volley or just a straight shot. Matters not. Shu taken out. Transcendence is going to be free. That's a great pulse bomb, though. Kevster to try and turn things around. Muse in the backline as well. That coordination with both Muse and Kevster is doing so much work. And despite the Philadelphia Fusion capping up this objective, they're not going to be holding on to it for much longer.
Yeah, a couple of things to point out there. First, that Alarm is outpacing Shu when it comes to damage done.
Fusion get back into this one for free.
At any point here, Muse can go for a pile drive, Kevster with a pulse as well. It'll buy some time. There's a self-destruct as well. Muse is so weak. How on earth does that catch two? These ults are so good from the Gladiators.
Incredible. They do give up the points. They're still in this one. And with Carpe falling, it's steadily going into their direction. That self-destruct pushes them all away for but a moment. Hopper, though, hacked up, is very susceptible to being jumped onto. But it's the Fusion who don't even touch the objective to keep the overtime going. Up onto the point for but a moment. Alarm falling, though, is never ideal for the Fusion. They do rely on him quite a bit to put in that extra damage at the Discord Orb. It'll be a struggle now for them. Still, the Gladiators, yeah, they are just slowly squeezing out this team fight. It's in their control with those two picks.
These tanks from the Gladiators are making an enormous amount of pressure.
And that's actually going to be connecting onto him, and still is getting hacked up. Can't really do too much. Still kept alive, but eventually bursted through. Carpe needs to do a bit here. Needs to take down his adversary, but right now forced out the recall from both of them. Needs to take the 1v1 27. How for the beat down? Kevster taken out of the fight, but still the Gladiators in control. This is a very, very drawn-out team fight, but it should be going away at a Fusion off the back of these pickoffs. You'd think, anyway.
Carpe's doing a lot of work, but Shu is also going crazy. Shu took down Alarm and Carpe in the midst of that fight, and the Gladiators are maintaining control only just now. Does it flip in favor of the Fusion?
They still want to fight.
But this fight does not look great. The Gladiators can come zipping straight back in.
Yeah, the mines are scattered across the point. It is going to push the Gladiators away for but a moment, so control still available there for them. But Hopper, that's going to be the D-Mech. Has to use the self-destruct, just trying to survive on 1 HP though, but space. It's going to be a quick little tickle, and Hopper sent straight back to the spawn once more. Alarm back in the fight though, and again, this is still potentially winnable for them. It is a scattered fight taking place all over the map right now, but Space, look at that aggression, just following up on his team. All the damage being done by the Gladiators here, still in complete control.
Alarm picked off, the backline pushed into an...
And they flipped the point back over. It's not over yet. The Philadelphia Fusion not going down without a fight. The pulse bomb, it is going to connect, but unfortunately not getting too much done with it, and it's the Gladiators. What a hack onto Carpe. Could not go anywhere. Shu as well, just diving so deep into the backline, using that Transcendence to push his way forward. It's going to get sent straight off the edge of Ilios here, but as the overtime trickles down to nothing, it's map number 1 to the Gladiators here. Early on, sets them up nicely with the ultimate. Bionade right up the top is going to be a connection. Got to keep the players alive though. That's a hack. Shockwave locked down onto the floor, could not fly away. Nice setup there from Bird, and we get the default hack, and now it's the Gladiators pushing ever so forward. Big Bionade to try and set up this as well. Kevs are just going to be zipping back out of there to safety. Pops the recall just in case, but it is a clean team fight.
This is part of what makes the Gladiators so dangerous.
Line of sight there. Shu is getting pressured pretty heavily there, but Alarm right round the corner did eventually get that nano boost off onto Mano. It's a fading away. The Primal Rage built up as well. Still an even fight, unless Muse can perhaps turn it around with some absolutely ridiculously sickening plays. The mechanics are clean, slept up in the process, and it's coordination from them to try and shut this one down. Kevster, look at the tracking on that, almost just takes him out in the spawn door. Shockwave struggling to get back into this fight, but the players are now coming back online. Still, it is so drawn out.
Skewed with a clutch rally as well, keeps himself alive on less than 20 health, is now back up in the fight, providing rally armor to the rest of the Gladiators, making this one winnable. But Mano's got something to say about that, dives into the backline with his Primal, and this fight continues to ever so slowly go the way of the Fusion.
Space almost getting value out of that one, but again EQO just pulling things into his own hands. He's right into the backline, and Shu is missing. This has to be the disengage. Does jump onto Funny Astro there, but it just forces out the rally. Now the fight continues though, into the back. Muse taken out from that self-destruct, up close and personal, right at the back end there of Anubis. And with both of them down, this is again the Fusion holding on, weathering this storm. The Gladiators coming up now with so much pace, forcing out these ultimates because they know it's their last chance.
This is less than 10 seconds on the clock, so Skewed has to go for the rally. But there's not Lucio. How's he even going to get there? Space with a desperate attempt to touch this objective.
Pushed away. The bash. Funny Astro.
This gets to be able to fight this. What you're looking into,
Birdering
though,
sleeping.
EQO has ult, and there he goes with it. They
He connects. Birdering was sleeping. He was the one target they needed, and they just burst him down. The re-engage comes through. The ultimates are committed. The Gladiators, that's Rally and Mana Boost into this one, and it just does not look winnable unless they get a bit more. Mano forced back, but he's going to get that Mega Health back, and already the kills just flooding in the direction of the Fusion.
And the Fusion have got this one for relatively cheap as well. The Gladiators could be happy that they got the EMP.
This is Funny Astro using that rally. Hopper, okay, sends it straight through. That's a self-destruct that actually did kill Muse there. Not too bad for them. In fact, Kevs has gone down as well. Now, a quick little re-engage, almost getting that tick on the board. The Fusion so close now to the finish line, and that's it. They only just had a few percentage points to get. They found a bit of a foothold onto the point, so they're starting to pressure the objective up, and Kevster with that pick onto Shockwave, pushing and pulling them every single direction. Kevster's just getting away with murder. No one's really putting the pressure onto him. Finally, though, that shield bash not enough. Can't coordinate to get the pick. Recall comes through anyway. That's going to be the pulse one. That's a freebie for them. Kevster, what a play and setup.
That's so nice from Kevster, using the recall.
Still, EQ up onto the high ground, very low. Has to wait for a bit of healing going his direction. He does get it in the end, and there's the Amp Matrix assisting with that pick. Shockwave takes out Birdering. Skewed falls as well. And finally, you see the Fusion at least getting a team fight on the board.
Yep, very nice stuff. That's the pick coming out from their Ashe player, and they're able to convert the rest of the fight. Still 4 minutes on the clock, though.
For no setup online, Kevster.
But they did force out Supercharger here, actually. What is
Kevster
that?
gets the pick on the Shockwave. Shockwave just seemingly unaware of what was happening, just kind of taken down. Already 100-0 it seems. Now Birdering straight up into the sky again. Going to be kept up with the healing of Skewed at that Transcendence. They need to try and dislodge away Hopper, who's just sitting up onto that high ground. They've managed to separate him from the rest of his team. Could be an easy pick-off for them. It looks like they're already winning the team fight anyway, just from the look of the kill feed. And they can start to steadily push this card even further.
So far,
at a Fusion, but honestly, not in ideal situations for it. Still, they get the pick onto Shooter Halt into Bob's line of sight. Potentially getting something out of that one, but no, taken out. Now EQO has to try and turn it around. It's a good Death Blossom. It gets 2 picks, and they're following up even more. Kevster desperate to try and turn this around, but the Fusion, well, this close to the spawn door, going to be getting the players back in time.
Hopper gets healed up straight after that pulse.
Oh, a bit of pressure being applied. What a halt. EQO straight. The arrow flies, and that's a kill on the shoe. It's magic for them, but Birdering answers back with that one. Gravitic Flux into it. All the kills flowing in the direction of the Gladiators, despite that fantastic early advantage that was to be gained. And now the Gladiators, they've got so many opportunities now. It is just inevitable that this card ends up finding the target right at the end of King's Row here. That's going to be 2.
Going over to that Zen and applying so much offensive pressure.
Oh, this is the coordination. I mean, the damage is on Shockwave, and he's just trying to avoid it, but he just doesn't know where they are. Yeah, Birdering the entire time, just threading the needle with these. Waits for the teleport. Quick and easy kill. That's how it happens.
So good.
Yeah.
Birdering's on a different level when it comes to these kind of playoff games. He's been excellent.
Muse is doing a fantastic job of just disrupting them up here, changing up the pace when the Fusion are trying to take map control as well, moving around as well without taking too much damage. It's Muse there coordinating it with the DPS to find it. EQO does get 1, gets 2 as well. His mechanics never in question when it comes to this roll. Might even get a 3rd if he's lucky. No, the peel is there in the end. If he can try and get out alive though, it'll be excellent for the Fusion to come back into this one with a bit of... Yeah, they're still going to be trying to work their way in here. Birdering ended up using that Dragon Strike. Too sure where it ended up going here. Kevster with the pulse bomb. That's going to be a nice stick. Shockwave taken out. The Gladiators on the defense are looking pretty primed now to take this, especially with the mines doing all the work. 2 kills for them. Rolling straight through. Beat down into the back line. The coordination is absolutely there. Time. EQO with his attention split, not able to get too much done. A halt into the dash again, uses the blade in the end, but look at what he's doing it into. It's so hard to even get a single kill with the rally online, but the ultimates are combined. That's going to be the self-destruct as well as the Bob sent in. They do get a few pickoffs, and they're slowly edging this fight out.
Yeah, all of this pressure just bursted through the middle of the Gladiators, drew so much attention, and in some sense, EQO's blade made space.
See if he can get this power drive. into the mines as well, drops it right down. That's Shudo taken down early. I think that was a halt into Shockwave, putting in a bunch of that damage. Nanoboost is applied later on top of it, and one quick headshot, more than enough. The pressure is on when you get a Nanoboost put onto you as a DPS player, but certainly delivering for now.
Yeah, Shockwave a little slow to start in this series, I would say, over the course of the first 2 maps, but he is coming alive right now. Only really Kevster that's close.
Gonna try and coordinate something. Kevster, though, he's used his recall early, nothing to escape it, but luckily the team is there. Shu just firing shot after shot, following up on the work that the team's doing. Nice and easy kills, and they do stop them all alive. The Fusion might be forced to invest ultimates just to get past the choke point. Halt into the gravitic flux. It's massive. So much damage being done, but again, the immortality field is there. It's going to be keeping them still alive for now.
They committed the trance into this, though.
Transcendence as well. The Fusion investing, but not getting any returns.
Yeah, the Gladiators just forged this pressure, but in all of this ult cycling, Muse has now built up a supercharger, and the Fusion again are just going to have to disengage or die.
Oh my, Hopper's taken out.
They choose to die.
You just can't do anything. I mean, the arrow's just flying straight. I think anticipating that Space might have been playing a bit further back, but it just doesn't catch him. Kevster taken out, pushing forwards though. Now the Transcendence is pulled out of them. The Gladiators now, they've got the healing necessary to push this one forwards, and the picks. The Shockwave gets taken out once more. Hopper just desperate to try and build up this gravitic flux now into the final 9 seconds left, but they are just toppling over, and it is despair on their faces. Space looking so determined.
The Gladiators are crushing them.
Yep.
That is a sim variant.
They're kind of all over the place, honestly, with this composition. Setting up the power drive.
Genji Tracer dive.
Genji Tracer dive. Skewed though, frozen up, locked up. Rascal gets the kill. There's the Fusion winning this one out. The trouble with this dive comp from the Gladiators is you need to lock down. Body hop off the cart there with his punch, but gets frozen up off onto the side. Kevster's taken out as well. That's Carpe with the big iron on his hip. Not letting Kevster run away with it. Alarm taken out though will put a bit of a dampener on the Philadelphia Fusion. It looks like they are going to be winning this one out. Carpe just popping off. Flashbang not going to be connecting, but that's okay. Still can fire out the shots as well as the Gladiators. Despite their spawn door being quite close, they're still going to look to try and fight this now, but the Fusion, they could find their way back into this one. No, not going to be happening. Carpe, Mano, not able to withstand the pressure that was coming their way.
They only just found the timing to punish Fusion before Alarm got back, though. Alarm is the only player left alive in this team fight because he wasn't.
Good self-destruct into the back. It's the immortality field taken out. Hopper drops his as well, but it's going to be taken out, so not going to be available in this fight. Big Earth Shadow online for Mano. Lets it drop, but that is going to be a bit of a miss. Just about. Skewed just jumping onto the car to a dodge and avoid that, sidestepping it in the process. And the Fusion just going to be toppling over from this one.
Yeah, Fusion looking a little uncoordinated.
If they can land them here.
He's getting pressured right now.
Yeah, but exactly. And now they're missing the speed boost to really try and engage into this one as well with this comb, but they can't disengage from the Dragon Strike. It gets sent then straight into the top left area. Tanks pressured out.
That is a phenomenal play by the Gladiators. The aggression from Space pushes the backline in.
Taking a sweet time, eventually going to be jumping right up. Needs to coordinate something though. Needs to take out this backline. Good freeze. The Blizzard is connecting. It's going to be the pick off onto them as well, but this fight's still taking place onto the objective, the card. Hopper just trying to mark it, make sure that they can't just sneak it in as that team fight takes place. Regardless, the Gladiators are definitely edging this one out. The damage they've got is far superior when Birdering isn't really being dealt with as well. Just firing off those shots from afar. It feels like the Fusion have been scrambling for a while now, struggling to find an answer. And can you blame them when Birdering's hitting shots like that?
The Fusion, though, have not been able to actually pin Gladiators down. Gladiators' mobility, forcing the Gladiator backline into it.
That man is off the map.
Oh, that's
just sent straight off the map with the power driver. Kevster, I think he was thinking about alarms gone as well.
Oh, you can't be doing that. You can't be doing that. I was talking about the Gladiators' aggression forcing the positioning of the Fusion. I didn't mean forcing them off the edge. I just mean in terms of where they're taking the fights. Why are the Fusion taking the fights on the edge of the map anyway? This is the kind of thing. Their own tempo.
Oh, see ya.
There's no world in which the Fusion plan to take the fight there. But because of how the Gladiators are playing, they're forced to.
Feeling the pressure to try and perform right now. Plus one sent out, but that's the immortality field to keep them alive, and no one's really dealing with this. How did Funny Astro just get taken out there? It was just a grapple roll straight through. They're going to get the D-Mech on top of it. The Fusion, I mean, they've just kind of toppled over ever since point B.
Yep, they're not in this fight. The Gladiators are storming forwards, a minute on the clock, and no value out of the self-destruct. A desperation beat from Funny Astro that only catches onto the supports. Rascal moves over to Genji. The Philly Fusion are not really in this. It's just Carpe trying to take on the world in the backline.
Oh, see you later. Yeah, and Kevster just hunts you down. I mean, assisted by the Discord Orb, sure, but right now the Gladiators in complete control, and they have been since checkpoint B. There's been no real wholehearted attempt to try and stop them. The Fusion, I think, a bit disjointed in terms of the concepts and ideas they wanted to run with these compositions, I think, as well. A little bit all over the place with it. They are doing a good job at delaying. It's only for a couple of seconds there. The self-destruct will push them all away, and that's going to be 29.
No one's got the mobility. I suppose you could try with Rascal, but a Genji is not favoured in battles against a Tracer. Kevster's going to tear you up every time. Plus, he's always got the Discord Orb to coordinate.
He's popping off. He's popping off. He's being enabled. The team is playing around him. And, I mean, you can feel the amount of pressure the Fusion's under. Especially when the roles were flipped around when they were playing on the defense as well, and Funny Astro was forced over to the brig to try and find an answer for it. Right now, this is looking like just an absolute steamroll. The Gladiators...
And they're just shredded. The Philadelphia Fusion's comp wants to brawl. It did even more earlier when they were running the Reaper, but it's not good enough. And this Nano onto Carpe finds no value.
He gets 2, but is 2 really going to be in line? But the Gladiators, they come in with the ultimates of their own. Space going to be dodging that accretion, doesn't want to get taken out of the Gravitic Flux animation. In fact, he's rewarded with a kill onto Hopper regardless of it. The damage is just immense. How do you overcome this one here? And a Supercharger, not even enough. It was committed into this fight, but nothing gained.
Yeah, Rascal really has now gone Lucio.
Well, Carpe, speed boost forwards, okay. That's a nice little pick there onto Birdring. Potentially set the pace now. We're getting into overtime potentially now as well, but that pick onto Muse is also quite nice. Now finally the Blade Unleashed forces out of Transcendence, but shut down anyway. That's Shu, the Discord Orb, just marking Rascal the entire time. No durability in place to keep him alive still. Carpe might be able to pull this from the precipice. He's finding the shots, and they're definitely getting the damage in now. The Fusion, just one more target they need to push away, and that's Muse, and they are going to be able to get this capture eventually. Just trying to find a way into this fight. Carpe, so far forward, that's a Nano Boost forced out. They have to use it, otherwise Carpe is going to go down. Hopper falls as well. The Deadeye gets nothing. And the Gravitic Flux just shuts down everything to do with that fight.
They force out so many mistakes from the Fusion there. I mean, a tiny bit of aggression from
Funny Astro just trying to keep his team alive. In the meantime, nice little stick there from Rascal. That's Birdring gone. This could be a turning point for them, but they need to deal with the Gladiators. This tank line is just so brawly with the Amp Matrix to play around as well. Look at the damage they're outputting. It's such a threat of both tankiness and the damage just coming their way, shredding them in the process.
Space. Although it looks like he's not the one that's going to touch. It's actually Hopper.
Yeah, Hopper will touch. The Mano comes in, but it's so much crowd control as well. Flashbang into the shield bash. Nobody touches the point. That is honestly a bit of a disappointing end to the Fusion in that map, I will say. It looks like they were very uncertain in terms of how they wanted to swap up their compositions the entire time. But for the Gladiators, listen, they can be very happy. They're moving forwards here. They're not going to get knocked down to the lower bracket. One step closer to that end goal that every team here is working towards. For the Fusion, it's not over just yet. Plenty of opportunities.